Women have made great strides towards equality in the last few years. Several have become very wealthy, and many of their stories are incredibly interesting. Here's a look at 2019's 10 richest women in the world. 10. Iris Fontbona, $14.4 billion. Iris Fontbona is the widow of Andronica Luksic, owner of Antofagasta plc, the 7th largest copper producer in the world. After his passing, he left the company to Fontbona and their 3 sons, in addition to a generous fortune. The family also owns 81% of a company called Huiyan, which controls multiple other companies, including a shipping and brewing company. Luksic himself was a college dropout, but he was still able to amass such a fortune that he could leave his wife $14.5 billion. 9. Abigail Johnson, $14.9 billion. Abigail Johnson became the CEO of Fidelity Investments, taking over for her father a few years ago. She also owns a large portion of the company, which was started in Chicago in 1946 by her grandfather, Edward Johnson. While Abigail attended college, she worked part-time with the company, and after graduation, began the climb to amassing her nearly $15 billion fortune. 8. Gina Rinehart, $15.4 billion. Serving as the chairman of Hancock Prospecting, a company named after her father, Lang Hancock, Gina Rinehart's $15.4 billion net worth makes her the richest person in Australia. The company, which owns stakes in iron ore mines, is mostly responsible for Rinehart's success. She is also Australia's 3rd largest cattle producer. 7. Charlene de Carvalho-Heineken, $16.3 billion. As the executive director of the company that makes Heineken beer, it's no wonder why Charlene de Carvalho-Heineken's net worth is an astonishing $16.3 billion. Her father, Freddie Heineken, who passed away in the early 2000s, made her the sole heiress to the Heineken fortune. Before her father's death, Charlene studied law, and playing a major role in Heineken International wasn't really on her radar. But once she inherited part of the company, she decided to take a much more active role, and needless to say, it's paid off big time. 6. Susanne Klatten, $19.2 billion. Susanne Klatten is the daughter of Herbert Quandt, who is best known as the person that saved BMW from going bankrupt. Klatten inherited a large amount of her wealth from her father, but now is involved in multiple businesses. She is part owner of BMW, but much of what makes her one of the most wealthy women in the world is that she is chairman and sole owner of Altana, a chemical and pharmaceutical company. 5. Laurene Powell Jobs, $21.5 billion. Laurene Powell Jobs' fortune is due, in large part, to the man she used to call husband. Before his passing, she was married to Steve Jobs, chairman, CEO, and co-founder of Apple. Jobs was also one of the people who originally funded Pixar Animation Studios in the 1980s. Because Disney eventually purchased that company, Jobs had substantial ownership stakes in Disney. So after his passing, his widow inherited his Apple fortune as well as any value that he owned in Disney. 4. Yang Huiyan, $21.8 billion. At an estimated net worth of $21.8 billion, Yang Huiyan is 75% owner of Country Garden Holdings. Huiyan's sister, Ziyang, is also part owner of the company they got from their father, Young Kwok Kyung. After graduating from Ohio State University, Huiyan added over $6 billion to her wealth in just 7 days, making her the richest person in China. 3. Jacqueline Mars, $28.8 billion. If you've ever enjoyed buying a Snickers or Milky Way candy bar, you've contributed to the wealth of Jacqueline Mars, who is nearly 1/3 owner of the world's biggest candy-making company. In addition to the aforementioned candy bars, Mars also makes several kinds of gum, as well as dog foods and packaged foods. For nearly 20 years, Jacqueline worked for the company and remained a board member until 2016. 2. Alice Walton, $49.5 billion. Alice Walton and 2 of her 3 brothers each own a portion of the Walmart fortune. Walmart was co-founded by her father, Sam Walton. and Alice, along with Rob and Jim, have all benefited from their father's fortune. Rob and Jim are known to have devoted lots of their time to the company. Alice has shown a propensity for philanthropic ventures, including the world of art. In Arkansas, Walton opened Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in 2011. 1. Francoise Bettencourt-Meyers, $52.2 billion. Thanks to her grandfather, Eugene Schuler, the founder of L'Oreal, Francoise Bettencourt-Meyers is currently the wealthiest woman in the world. Schuler invented commercial hair dye and is the main reason why people can dye their hair nowadays. His granddaughter, Meyers, owns 33% of the stock in L'Oreal. She's currently the chairwoman of the company and has served on the board since the late 90s. On an interesting note, before Meyers' rise to the top, the previous richest woman in the world was her mother, Lillian Bettencourt. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and enable notifications so that you get every video that we upload right to your device right when it goes up.